AMI, the deeper conversation. Good morning. Welcome to the Prosperity Playground. Welcome to this laboratory we create each morning together. This is George. My beloved Tracy is here with us in meditation this morning, and as we do these 10 quantum activations in a row, today is day 4, and I'm excited to share this with you. We talked yesterday about being the finest instrument in creation's symphony, and today, sort of along that same instrument theme, today's statement and invitation is to remember as you go into the day and tomorrow and the next day, your infinite nature. You have an emotional nature, you have a physical nature, a feeling nature, and an infinite nature. And as the occupier of this infinite nature, the you that is probably more real, at least in my belief, than any other version of you. Certainly more you than the physical you, certainly more you than the feeling nature. This infinite you, the you that was born the moment that time began, the you composed of pure energy. Let this invitation activate this part of you. I am an instrument of infinite light. I intend for each thought, feeling, word, and action to resonate in harmony with creation. As I follow each inspiration and witness every manifestation of quantum flow, I collect references which evidence my infinite origins. Born at the birth of the sun, I am infinite. Therefore, I am a living vessel of universal peace, love, and creation. And so it is. So if you allow this to really resonate in your cells, come alive in your muscles and your bones and your mind and in your thoughts, that as an instrument of infinite light, that if you follow true inspiration that comes, that bubbles up from these moments of appreciating who you really are, and allow yourself to be open to how the universe responds, and notice with an open mind and an enthusiastic heart how as the universe responds to you, as the universe takes those infinite steps taken on your behalf, always and in all ways, you will notice that there's a piece of evidence of quantum flow. There's a piece of evidence of who I really am, my infinite nature. There's a piece of evidence of how when I am love, love is returned to me. There's a piece of evidence of how when I am compassionate, compassion returns to me. There's a piece of evidence when I am creating, creation returns to me in the form of abundance and prosperity and wealth and love and opportunity and experience. And as you build these, what psychologists call references, a thing that reminds you of a thing that you know. So when you witness these references, you build more references, you build more of a case, you build more of reminders that, oh yeah, this is who I really am. I am a quantum creator. I am co-creative partner with the universe, and I create my entire experience. Nobody else is responsible for it. Nobody else is to blame for it. Nobody else is blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. That I am co-creator, and if I want to create something different or differently, I need to bring my infinite nature to the task. A living vessel of universal peace, love, and creation. When you remember, not if, when you remember that is your infinite nature, that is your true nature, that is who you really are. When you remember that, you are in flow, you stay in flow, you create in flow. And it's a little bit of a treadmill in a good way. It's a little bit of a assembly line in a good way, in that when you stay in flow, more flow comes. It's also a little bit of a treadmill, and that's why it feels like a treadmill. When you're not in flow, when you're in the grind, so to speak, and you're just feeling like, oh my God, this is such hard work and it's so difficult and it's harder than it needs to be. When you're feeling it's harder than it needs to be, it probably is being harder than it needs to be. And you can ask yourself, am I in flow right now? Am I remembering my infinite nature? Am I co-creating with my infinite partner? And if any of those answers is no, just take a breath. Don't judge it. Don't lean into something that already feels difficult. You lean into something that is creating. You lean into something that is feeling. It may not be giving you results immediately, but at least it feels as though you're partnering with your co-creative partner, the infinite. Then you lean in, even without evidence, even without immediate gratification. At least then you're leaning into something that that resonates. Like, this is an inspired action. This is the path to follow right here and right now. This feels true. And if it turns out that was a mistake, or that was not the interpretation that was totally in alignment, it will still yield tremendous learning. And you might say, well, George, that's semantics. That's such a tiny little fine distinction between the two, between leaning into something and it's harder than it needs to be and trying to get results, and leading into something because it's an inspiration and then it turning out to be not effective. Yeah, it is a fine point. It is a fine distinction. And that difference between the distinctions is your attitude. And I say that makes all the difference because of all of the examples in my lifetime as a human person, as a human becoming, as a coach, as a teacher, as a seeker, as an observer, as a scientist. I've seen too many examples where that attitude, that difference in mindset, that difference in state of being has made all of the difference. Does feeling better about being in alignment with the universe help you stay in the lean longer? Yes. Is that why you do it? Maybe. Partly because staying in it, staying in service, staying in love, staying in compassion, staying in generosity, staying in faith of your co-creative partner feels better. It tends to be healthier for your body. It tends to be more pleasant and pleasurable. It tends to be more pleasant and pleasurable for all the people around you. And in my experience, it makes you more resourceful. It makes you notice the opportunities in the mundane more often than not. And if that was the only reason, that last one, that it makes you more likely than not to recognize the opportunities in the mundane, then that's a good enough reason to do it. So if you're feeling like you're not in flow, and you're feeling like something's very difficult, extremely difficult, more difficult than it needs to be, or more complicated than it needs to be, the opportunity, don't quit that right away. Just take a moment and evaluate, am I in flow? Am I doing this because I believe if I push hard enough, I'll get through it? Or am I doing this next thing, or this thing that I'm doing, because it's an inspired action, it's harmonic, it's resonant with the universal impulse, and I'm tapped into that? And if you're not, don't judge yourself. Just take a minute or two. Do a neuro squeegee, as we're about to do. feel in your feeling body. Get out of your mind, get into your body, and feel for the inspired action. And you might even ask, co-creative partner, universe, creation, God, spirit, source, whatever your vocabulary is. Am I in alignment here? Are my desires and yours in alignment? And listen. I think it was the Dalai Lama, the current Dalai Lama, who said, praying is asking God for something. Meditating is listening for the answer. And so if you do sit down and take a breath and do a neurosqueegee and ask universe, spirit, God, source, am I in alignment? What's the next inspired action? Are my desires in alignment and harmony with yours? Then do a few more neurosqueegees. Sit in meditation for 10, 15, 20 minutes, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Listen. Listen for the quantum flow. Listen for the rattle and hum of universal creation and your place in it. And if an inspired action bubbles to the surface, lean into that. If another inspired action bubbles to the surface, lean into that. And that could be go for a walk. That could be start a 16-hour fast. That could be write this email and send it. That could be write another chapter of your book. That could be reach out to X, Y, and Z people. That could be take a nap. Praying is asking. Meditating is listening. We start our neurosqueegee with an exhale. Prepare to receive that first deep healing breath. And as you release this first breath, remember that you are absolutely creating opportunities for new neural pathways. Second breath. As you release each breath, remember you're creating opportunity, releasing any attachment to any old way of being. Third breath. Beautiful. Now, today, as you go about your day, remembering that you are an instrument of infinite light. Seek to bring every thought, feeling, word, and action into alignment with that truth. If that's all you do is effort to bring every thought, feeling, word, and action into alignment with the truth that you are an instrument of infinite light. If all you did was that today, and tomorrow and the next, you will make today, tomorrow, and the next as amazing as you are. And if you add to just continually trying to bring everything into alignment with that truth, an awareness that every response the universe presents to you is a manifesting outflow, outpicturing response to that, and allow that to inspire the next inspired action, you most definitely will make today as amazing as you are. We'll see you. We'll see you Monday in the playground. Bye for now. This has been a production of Amazing Media International. AMI, The Deeper Conversation.